Yeah, boy, your boy, Mr. Old School Rider, come back at y'all guys one more again on the new channel, Flexing for Less. Come holler at me right now on that channel. Got some of the old videos on there. Also, I'm going to be dropping some heat on the new channel, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had time to go ahead and put them other videos on there as well, but you know the classic videos going to be on there. I had to kind of go ahead and split my channel into 3 or 4 type of channels. You know, that was a primary a car channel for my Cougar. Then my Oldsmobile, you know, I looked up like, damn, I got 75 videos. I'm like, man, some people gonna lose their attention span. You know, sometimes people don't want to look at the car videos. They want to go ahead and look at, you know, something that's real quick. You know, I like the clothes and shoes and things like that contain with it, you know. It all goes together at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, I had to go ahead and split this channel for you guys so y'all can kind of enjoy yourself some days, you know. But hey, right now these are my Fila M Squad shoes. These was made back in the early 90s, I think like 91, 92. This around the times Fila kind of slid into the basketball arena in the game. You know, Fila, they like an Italian company. They've been around for a very long time, but they went ahead and dibble and dabble themselves into basketball finally. You know, around that time, you know Nike, that was kind of emerging themselves, and Patrick Ewing, he already had this thing going on for a little while since he broke away from Adidas in the 80s, late 80s. You know, you had Converse, had a stranglehold on the game for so long, man, since beginning of basketball, with the Chuck Taylors and the One Stars and also the weapons, you know, stuff like that. Magic Johnson, he attempted to do his own shoe thing, but, you know, that was a failure, to be honest about it, you know. But hey, that's not, I don't cuff a Magic like that anyway, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, he do too much for me sometimes, but other than that, Fila, man, they went ahead and they cracked the door, man. These are my M Squad. You know, it was a lot of players that wore these shoes in various colors and things like that in different styles. But these, I remember Jamal Mashburn and some of the other players was rocking these in the early 90s. You know, I mean, the D, you know, Miles, that was my team from the get-go. Even though they was losing, they had a lot of talent. It just wasn't put together, man. They had Carlisle or Avery back in the 90s, man. It would have been going down, but they was still playing back then. You know, they was still pretty much playing back then. At least Avery. I think Carlisle was like close to the end of his career. He was already done already. But let me show you this heat real quick. It's the same type of box they had back in the day. I remember this. My bro, you know, he's older than me. He graduated in 91, of course, in high school. You know, he always had the heat. You know, he used to wear Lottos, Filas, Patrick Ewings. He really didn't do the Jordan thing. You know, that was too much money. I think back then the Jordans around like close to $100 or 90. I still got some. He still got some of the newspaper clippings, but you know he was trying to get the best deal possible back then. You know, if he did get some Jordans, you know, he either maybe trade some or got something. You know, he got them from somewhere. You know, they might have fell off the truck every now and then, but you know, he'll find his way into something like I do sometimes. But right now, let's check out these shoes here real quick. Pretty much the box is pretty much the same like it was back in the 90s. You know, with all the white and the blue. That's how much it was originally. At Footlocker, $75. The European style foot size is 44. That size is normally whenever you get like a high-end shoe. Like I said before, Fila was an Italian company. You know, right now they're a multinational company, of course. But you know, they like make a lot of stuff in China. Every now and then they make stuff in other countries, maybe like Malaysia or Vietnam or stuff like that. But on the retro stuff, just like the Jordans, most likely they're gonna be made in China anyway. Most of the time they try to keep up the quality of what they had it back in the day, the best way they could. On these particular shoes, this is the date they put on the boxes in the shoe stores. Most of the times, or whenever they ship them out from the factory to the store. You got July 1st, 2016. You know, I wish it was an old school box, but I know it's on the old school box. The old school box was a little bit thicker than this back in the day because I remember my bro had feelers. But you still have some of the retro style and stuff like the paper. Still got that wax paper. It ain't that cheap ass paper Nike be having, man. That's a story on its own right now. They're a little dusty, you know what I'm saying? They've been sitting for a while. Ain't nobody trying these on. I can tell there's no sock, what you call it, a sock cotton or anything like that on it. On the first one they tried these on, they've been sitting in the back. You can tell this like 90s styling with the high mid-top type of style. That's when they were trying to do the mid-top type of style shoe back then. Nowadays, the mid-tops are a little bit smaller for some reason. Your mid-tops nowadays go kind of come down like this, which I don't understand. This is a true mid-top shoe from back in the 90s. You can tell by the 90s style with all the black and all the purple red and all the stitching. And also the speckles, this is black. And all the mountains or whatever you want to call it, all the zigzags, or wiggly wags or whatever you want to call it. You got the famous Fila F on the back, of course. Man, I don't understand back then, some people, Fila's wasn't the super duper cheapest shoe in the world, but it was still cheaper than Nike's, of course. But you go to the bazaar, people have fake Filas. Yeah, man, they fake everything, man. I'm like, man, we got some fake Filas on, man. You need to sit your ass down with that shit. But oh well. Most of the times, Fila back then was like red and white and all these other colors, man. They came with the Italian colors like the green, red, like the Gucci colors, of course. It is an Italian brand back then. Then you got to have red and green for the Italian flag. With the Fila stitching on there for your support. These shoes are actually quite comfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. The thing I hate about when you buy Chinese shoes or a country that's from an Asian country, you got to get a size bigger because it's just off, man. If it was a real Italian shoe, it's going to fit exactly the way it's supposed to be. Hey, oh well, man. It is what it is, but hey, we're going to roll with that for right now. I had to get this like an 11.5. But these shoes are still flame hot Cheetos. Look at that. Even Reebok tried to jack their style with the mid-top. This particular style, but it was an epic fail. I mean, I guess you call them the soldieries. They still classic, you know what I'm saying? I rock them every now and then, but on the Reebok classic, they wear out awfully quick. That's the part I didn't like back then. It's like it was a women's brand anyway. To be real about it, they decided to jump in the shoe game. They jumped in the shoe game kind of strong with the pumps. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Even Shaq was rolling with them for a while until he branched off on his own. It was a mistake brand-wise for him, but it made him some money at the end because he made cheap shoes. You make more money off of cheap shoes. You can sell them to Walmart. They're a lot more marketable on his end, but he started developing a lot of issues with his body and stuff because of the shoes he was wearing. I mean, I know you have your own shoe. Like I said before, you might as well buy some fake shoes, man. What's the point? Sometimes, I mean, China's shoes, if you give them the direction of it, hey, I want to do it just like this, they'll do it. But, most companies don't want to do it. They want to be cheap about making stuff so they can get the stuff out. These are detailed very well, man. That leather feels so nice. Jordan, I don't know, man. They kind of getting y'all just a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Just a little bit. It's close. On my number ones, it don't even feel this soft on these M Squad, but they do have a second pair at Footlocker. Now, guess what I'll pay for this thing? $29.99. $29.99 with tax. It was like 30. It was 30, low 30 and change, pretty much. For some classic Filas. I had to get them because they was on sale, man. Hey, why not? Man, luckily I found something with some blue in it, man. I was getting worried for a second. I've been wearing red shoes for a while, of course, but it's all right. But we made that happen on Flexing for Less. $29.99 at Footlocker right now. Irving Mall and other Footlockers. Depends on where you go. Just look for deals. At Champs, you can do layaway. I'm just throwing that out there, guy. Just saying. Sometimes they do the real. Sometimes they do the Jordan Joys on layaway, but most of the people don't do Jordan. Like the new Jordans that come out on layaway sometimes. But I did that on my number 2 lows and my Adidas. On those Adidas that I showed y'all in the other video, man, I had to go ahead and take those back, man. I see Little Yachi on there. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't gonna be associated with that. These shoes, he had the same exact shoe I had on a poster. I'm like, oh man, no, I'm done. I can't co-sign this shit, man. I'm out here, old school rider, hit y'all back with another one, deuces.